Welcome to Little Side Note with Wind and
Maya.
so today we'll be discussing about family issues. It's like a continuing from our previous episode, which is relationships, and now we're gonna do family relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're gonna spill all the tea.
Yeah, true.
So on that note, um, do you notice like any difference between how your family treats you when you were younger and when you're now?
So I do notice a lot of difference. Um,
Mm.
like first off, they do listen to me more, which is I know shocking. like before my opinion didn't really matter,
Mm-hmm.
but now they sometimes do ask for my own opinion, like, oh, how would you suggest to solve this problem, or
Mm.
this and that. Yeah, like, or they just like dump the work all on me and then they're like, fuck it, I don't give a shit, you do it.
I think in my case, I wouldn't say it changed much.
mm.
I mean, they do ask me for like opinions now, but it's more like
Mm.
a fake asking. They're like, what do you think about this? And then they're like, I don't like that idea actually. You know what? I'll disregard your idea. But I do get to handle more business
Mm-hmm.
for them, which
Mm-hmm.
is, yeah, I'm adulting, basically. Fake
Dude,
adulting.
they don't let me handle too many business stuff, but they let me
Mm.
handle all their taxes, which I want to rip my hair off every time it's tax season.
I mean, to be fair, you were studying a major that could, help them. It's the same thing where my mom's like, "When are you gonna create me a website? When are you gonna create me a website?" I'm like,
Mm.
yeah. I
Eventually,
mean,
someday.
yeah, eventually, it's a long process,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I'm just like, maybe I'll hold it off.
I'm pretty sure when you move back to Cambo and you're with them 24/7, there's no more dodging it. So I would
Yeah,
suggest you start preparing.
I hope my mom is good at designing. I
Oh, dude,
really hope.
I I've realized that my mom, she has good taste, but she
Mm.
can't identify what she wants. She has to see it to know that she wants it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, literally
I
my
think
life.
with
Mm,
web programming, it's easy because you just change color, change text, whatever.
mm,
So
mm,
it's like live editing.
mm-hmm,
So should be okay. Hopefully.
mm.
I'll probably be sitting next to her judging all her color scheme where she's like red and then gold. I'm like,
Oh my
波
gosh,
波
the
红衰.
gold. Yeah, dude, the gold, the
Oh,
yellow, and then no blacks, no black
yeah.
and white, because it's bad.
My
Oh my
mom's
gosh.
all,
Mm.
all my mom's phones are all like she only likes to buy it in like gold color.
Oh, I, I
I
pity you,
know,
my
right?
friend. But don't worry, my mom loves wood, so
Mm.
I don't like wood, but she's like, it looks so nice, so pretty. I'm like, you do know wooden furniture, like, it creaks. It's not great in an AC environment like that we're
Mm.
in.
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's so hard to like take care of. There's always a threat of like termites. It's like
Mm.
so
Mm.
much
Mm.
maintenance, dude. Uh,
I know. But I
mm-hmm.
mean, right now I'm sitting in a wooden floored apartment, which is pretty nice.
No, I don't. I prefer tiled than wood floor.
True, true. I do too.
Mm. Like, I remember when I was cleaning, because it's a wooden floor, I can't see the dust. Or if it's really clean or not sometimes. I'm like, I can't tell. If it's like white tiled, I'm like, I see the spot. I can clean it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Anyway,
Mm.
moving on.
Mm-hmm.
What are your expectations? I mean, your parents' expectation of you.
First off, where do we
Yeah.
start? Hmm.
I mean, we did talk about it briefly in our
Mm.
prologue, was it? Or
Mm-hmm.
was it in our first episode where we were pretty different in terms of expectation?
I think it was the prologue.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you share your experience.
So, behavior-wise, my parents do want me to be like this calm, composed person.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was younger, they would say, don't like กុំលេងដូចខ្លាចជាឈួតឈូកលើយ because
Oh.
I get so wild when I'm hyper with my like cousins when I was younger. I love playing around. There's a lot more kids, so it felt good because I only have like one sibling, so it's quite quiet. So yeah, they always say I layingដូចពលឈូក when I was younger.
Yeah, my parents gave me a nickname as well. I play too
Oh.
much.
If you want a good nickname, like you should hear mine, because I was a crybaby. I think I still am, kind of. So my parents gave me a nickname, Naratak Panay.
Oh, I barely cry, dude. Like, it was at the point where I cry less than my brother, which was shocking to them, I would say, because I was super super tough. Because it felt like I had to be stronger than all of them just because of my sexual orientation. But yeah.
Like I know when you were younger, your mom did try to force you to wear dresses more.
Even till now, which no, for till now, it's more like I fake it better. I definitely hate it, but just because I have to keep up a reputation.
Yeah.
Even my uncle is like, oh, ចេះពាក់សំពត់ដែរឥឡូវចេះពាក់រ៉ូបដែរឥឡូវខ្លាចជាស្រី
That's so mean.
Yeah,
Oh
right?
my
But-
gosh.
But I have to smile and be like, haha, ចេះពាក់យូរឯតា But in reality, I fucking hate it.
Dude, I really wish Campbell society was like fine with us calling out on their bullshit. Like
I know, right?
I had so many
Especially with elder people who they think they can get away with because of like their age.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna call out a lot of shit when I start getting older. If like older people like giving me crap faking ass. Like, oh, let's add me. Or like, oh, hello, Jetta included. Dude, I'm gonna call out on
my
your
God.
shit. It's like so fake. Like,
Yeah, that's why I hate going to family gatherings. Like, you know my family. Like, I have a face to uphold, like a reputation to uphold. So whenever we even go out for dinner, like a normal family dinner, I have to dress nicely. And because I have like this insecurity, especially in Campbell, where people see me in feminine shit, because then they will disregard my sexuality in a sense. So I always panic if I have like a family reunion and I see someone I know, and I'm like, no, please don't notice me.
I think I don't like family reunions because I don't talk to them often enough to feel like they're my family, and then suddenly I have to act as though, oh, we're close, we're family. And yeah, doing them favors that they're entitled to just because they're older. Like,
Yeah.
or going to get them stuff, or like doing tech shit for them. Like,
I mean,
for my grandma is another thing. I love and adore her. She takes care of me and she also feeds me a lot. But
Mm.
for them, I'm like, you don't do shit for me. Why am I doing shit for you just because we have like partially the same DNA? You are
Mm.
entitled to me being your slave? Excuse you. Like, no.
That's why I always sit in the kid table.
Mm,
Like and because my family is super super big, I can always just
yeah.
find cousin who's around my age, like one table, and
Mm,
then we would just shit on older people together, which is eye opening. Like it feels like you're not alone.
yeah. That's nice. But me and my cousins, we don't really like get along well, so I never got
Mm.
to the point where I openly discuss with them these things that I'm not comfortable with because
Mm.
I don't know if they're faking it or not, but it seems like they're fine with it. They're happy doing it.
Mm.
So like different perspectives, I guess.
I think that's the thing with us. Like, okay, so it's more like we have not really the same education. It's we are in the same family, but we feel
Mm.
like our status is different. So
Mm.
I feel like most people enjoy being on a higher status. Well,
Mm.
we are in this kind of middle gray area
Mhm.
where we're like, that's bad, and I don't want to
Mm.
become like that.
Mm.
And yeah, that's why we never hang out with them much.
Mm. Yeah. I don't know about like how your family goes or if this is the general Campbell family
Mm. Mhm.
kind of thing, but I do feel like how rich or how high you are in the hierarchy
Mm.
does affect you, like
Yeah.
even family wise. I don't like from like I don't know, maybe the past 20 years because now it's a lot better. Like now it
Mm.
seems like I can adapt to it more or like I just ignore it entirely. But for the like when I was younger, I did notice like there's a barrier that oh some family members do look down on you because you're either
Yeah.
not as rich, not going to the same school, not using the same
Mm.
products,
Yeah.
and it's fucked up how materialistic our society is sometimes.
Mhm. But in a way, I feel like I'm thankful for that part because I didn't turn out to be someone who is materialistic.
I agree. Same. I'm
We're
quite
pretty
thankful.
humbled. Yeah.
I feel like saying that we're pretty humble is not being humble, but okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I do agree that we have a lot more privilege
Mm.
than a lot of people in Camel, but
Mhm.
I definitely do think that we're more aware of it than
Mm.
people higher up.
No, I do feel like we are able to afford it, but we're aware that
Mm.
being materialistic gives off this persona that you are you like look down on people. So I
Mm.
think we try to avoid it. Like for me, even with friends, I don't like talking about money with them. Like
Mm.
unless I'm super close with them. Like oh if
Yeah,
like
yeah.
no like for instance if you're broken stuff and we can't go and eat that place, like yeah, I'm totally fine with you telling me that straight out. I actually
Mhm.
appreciate it instead of like making you feel uncomfortable. But if like oh like oh my family makes this much or that much, no, I don't tell people or like discuss that matter because I
Mhm.
don't like it. It sounds like you're going into a friendship for
Yeah, yeah.
like
Status.
benefits,
Yeah, money.
status, connections. Yeah, I know everyone says when you're older you need to find connections, as though
Mm.
connections is like a really good thing.
Mm.
But to me that word is a really bad thing because you're not
Mm.
making relationships based off of like purely your interest in them or purely through your like your happiness of being around them, but you're actually
Mm.
doing this for like something else, for an alternative goal, which I don't like.
Mm. Which is why I feel like you didn't find out like who my family were until like recently, I guess.
Yeah, dude, I've been friends with you for over 10 years and I never question you because I feel like it's uncomfortable. I know your family business, but I don't know
Mm.
like the distant family and stuff because
Mm.
like it shouldn't define who you are to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never talk about it with other people because, like, first off, I don't want to
Mm.
use their name to my advantage.
Yeah.
And second, it'll be embarrassing if I'm not really close to them and I'm using their name.
Exactly. Mm. I feel you. Like I do
Yeah.
have family that I'm not close to, but I do feel like, oh, if I use their name, it would be of advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But the most that I would say is like, oh yeah, we're distant cousins, but I'm not close with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Family drama.
Yeah. So much family drama. I wonder if a
Um,
psychiatrist evaluates all the family like behaviors in Campbell, would they call it like toxic relationships or not though?
that's the thing though. Like, I've been having thoughts about it. Like, cause the whole society is based on culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do think that I wonder if they have enough education or study enough to know like this type of behavior is damaging. Would they
Mm.
eventually stop doing that, or they will still like value like culture? Like,
I think
is it
mm,
really um, your ancestors using this type of method to your kid, and then your parents are
mm,
using it to their kid?
mm.
And if they had the education to tell them that that's wrong, would they change? You know?
I think for our generation there's gonna be a lot more change because there's a lot more
Mm.
awareness
Mhm.
compared to previous generations. So I
Mhm.
think we can start changing ourselves one by one, but
Mhm.
what I'm scared of is us subconsciously doing it and being not
Mm.
aware of it, and then
Mhm.
we're actually passing on this abuse.
Yeah. It's
Mm.
yeah. That
Okay.
yeah. I've heard a lot of people that do not want to have kids because they're not sure if they are 100% like good enough to break the cycle.
Mm. I mean, I do agree because okay, let's think about it this way. You turned out like you think you turned out fine because you were
Mm.
brought up through those methods.
Mm.
So, what's to say your kids being brought up with those methods will not be okay as well? I
Mm.
think some people would think that way. So, I'm like, okay. That logic does make sense, I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
But at the same time, it doesn't validate doing it
Mm.
because people are different. We process information differently.
Mm. I think people also don't realize that parenting is a big job. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just once you're 18, then that's done. Like, it's a big job. Like, when you have kids, you're a role model. You teach them what to do and how they think,
Mm-hmm.
and about society as well. And if you're raising them like in a bad way, in the wrong track, then they're gonna be on the wrong track.
Mm.
It's a big responsibility.
Yeah, like I do question, like you do know that we question some old people's morals, like
Mm.
valuing face too much, doing this, doing that. And then like they're bringing up their kids, so of course they're showing to their kids that doing it is okay. Like maybe for instance, valuing face or making connections just for the sake of making connections is okay.
Mm.
So if that kid never like explored or really thought deeply into it,
Mm.
they're just gonna go on with their lives thinking that that is right, and it
Mm.
causes a huge problem.
Yeah, it's the same cycle,
Mm-hmm. And they're not
essentially.
even aware of it.
Yeah, I don't know if I think it's borderline abuse.
Mm.
Like, I don't mean for like every household to. I don't mean to sound like every household is abusive, but the way our culture is set on is very toxic, and I feel like people don't know what it's like to the difference between being abused. Like, okay, okay, physical abuse you can definitely see it. Emotional abuse you cannot.
Yeah.
And I think that's why kids in Campbell they have like mental illness, but nobody's there for them because they're like, yeah, I suffer the same thing, you know, like why is your case better than my case? So that's why I think like people should normalize talking about emotional abuse.
Yeah. What you just said reminded me of an expectation out of studies that my parents had out of me. Like, okay, they're blessed with really good brain cells. So they're smart and did really well in school. Even though like Pol Pot happened, they still like got their degree and everything. Well, and then they taught me this mindset when I was younger. Like, oh, kế thừa ban hay ở dương thường ban.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was kind of like, so I always, even though I had like this breaking point where I can't do this anymore, I'm so tired, I cannot live like this anymore, like that phrase popped into my mind, and I just continued on, which I think put a lot of strain onto me. Yeah.
I feel like, okay, this is controversial, not joking. I hate it when people say your parents love you, they're not out there to hurt you. Like, what if some parents just don't really love you? Then how come you disregard that other person's feeling? You know, I've seen a lot of, not seen, I've read, okay, people should go to Reddit and go to r/ raised by narcissist, which pretty sums up our whole culture. This is why I have a question of, is this culturally or this is like a type something? You get what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure not everyone's a narcissist. But there are like narcissistic tendencies. And a lot of people complain that other people tell them to just shut up because your parents love you. It's just a way of them showing tough love. But like, what if that person is narcissistic and is not showing you love? They're just taking advantage of you because you're their kid, you know?
I don't know about rural areas. I wasn't there because I grew up in a city. But from like what I hear or like from movies I see, it does feel like some families in a rural area does do that, like forcing their kids to do stuff they're not ready to, like find a job at the age of 10, riding a motorcycle at the age of 6, doing errands. Like, it's not something you should ask a kid to do, but because you're short out of people and you feel like your kid could contribute in manual labor, so they just do it.
Damn, that's the thing too. Your child's not gonna develop that way. Yeah.
Like, I think children are forced to do that too. They're aware of money being tight, so they feel guilty for like not doing anything, so they just force themselves to do it.
Yeah, it's pretty much a gray area as well. Family relationships are super complicated to get into. I don't know about you, like when you said your family has gotten better communicating with you. In my case, I feel like, I don't know if it's because of me, because I have like a defense mechanism where I'm like, my family's gonna abandon me once I come out. So I'm not willing to talk to them, because then my secret will be out, right? So is that, I don't know if when I open up we would actually change that dynamic of
Mm.
or they would be the same.
Mm. I relate to you on that, on the factor that they still think that I've never dated.
Mm,
And I don't feel comfortable with disclosing that information to them. Like, I
yeah.
mean, eventually when I'm older, I would probably be okay talking to them about
Mm,
this. But I
mm,
feel like if I talk to them now, like it'll bring up a lot of controversial things. Like they'll feel like it was a mistake sending me off abroad or letting
mm,
me have as much freedom as I had when I was here or there.
mm-hmm,
Like, okay, in terms of freedom, I know I
mm,
cannot go out on a whim without telling them. Like, it
mm,
makes sense. They need to know just because they need
mm,
to be aware that I'm safe, know where I
mm,
am in case something happens.
mm,
But, like, in a sense, they never really, like, oh, put a GPS on me to make sure that I'm actually going there. So
yeah,
they're giving me trust in what I'm saying, like, oh, I'm going to this friend's house. Who's this?
yeah, yeah,
They didn't like check if like, oh, can I have this person's contact. Like, yeah, sometimes they would ask what does she look like,
yeah. Mm,
but then that's it. They never really like go into detail of like making like
mm,
communistic environment. Like it never went to that, like never went that far.
mm. Um, okay, my brain so I feel like every episode I have a brain fart. Anyway, um, yeah, family relationships are complicated, and that's why I'm saying like we're not having it worse than other people, but we're not having it better than most people. So
Mm,
we're in this super gray area.
mm. I do feel like when I look at Western families and then their habit of showing
Mm,
affection, like I did want that, but then I
mm,
realized it's also culture, I
mm,
guess. Like we don't normalize saying, "Oh, I love you" to our parents.
yeah,
I remember like we had an assignment in fifth grade to say "I love you" to our parents, and I didn't do it, and I just lied that
yeah,
I did.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was really awkward.
And oh yeah, I remember this. Like
Mm,
I'm I'm thinking like they're your parents, right?
mm.
Would they actually know what you're doing and just not saying it out loud until you really come forward to them?
For me, my mom does say, like sometimes like she does say like this is when she's pissed off, so she probably
Mm,
doesn't mean it. But she's like, you don't think that I don't know what you really do. I know you're keeping a lot from
mm,
me, and I
mm,
know what you really do. And I'm like,
mm,
no, you don't. You think you do, but no, you
mm,
don't. Now, this is actually a good bridge into another topic that I wanted to discuss. It's
mm,
faking it in front of old people.
mm.
Like, for instance, oh, I don't drink. No, 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 I don't drink. I don't take a sip of alcohol at
Me
all.
too.
Like, meanwhile, us eighth grade sneaking in cocktails into the school, literally chugging it.
Yeah, I remember when my mom came here to Australia, and then we had a champagne in the. It was from the building, the apartment they gave us because it's a new building, whatever. And
Mm,
then I put it in the fridge, and then she came because we were moving to a new building, and then
mm,
I was like, "Mom, there's a champagne in the fridge." And for
mm.
once, she wasn't like, "Oh, don't drink that." She's like, "Oh, you want to drink that?" And I'm like, I panic. I'm like, "No, no, Mom, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't want to drink it."
Oh, we're close to time, so yeah, up to you if you want to like talk about another topic or wrap this up.
Uh, oh my god. Okay. I know we can't really get into that with like anything because of our
Yeah,
time limit.
yeah.
Probably there's gonna be a part one, part two, part three, or possibly maybe one day when we're both free, we can have like a Q&A type of session where people can just ask us any type of question and we'll answer as honestly
Mm.
as we can.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, probably just gonna wrap this up. Oh, it feels super short,
I
shorter
know,
than
right?
the other episode, but
Mm-hmm.
we gotta do this for our sake. So yeah, we're gonna wrap up the episode for now.
Mm-hmm.
I do think we're gonna come back and touch on the family topic again because it's a really deep topic, and I believe that this topic is one that we were diving into deeper with more controversial topic instead of just like staying above, staying afloat,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. You can follow us on our IG, which is at Little Side Note, and Facebook, Little Side Note the podcast, and YouTube as well with Little Side Note the podcast. And our email will be littlesidenote@gmail.com. Please feel free to reach us anytime and anywhere. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I sound so tired.
But yeah, we're always open to comments. So yeah, guess that's it. We'll see you next week with another episode.
Yes, we'll also update you if there are any changes again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's it for now. Bye, guys.
Bye.